One of the more important tools in my studio is this rolling pallet table that I roll around. It has a glass top that I've cobbled together with different pieces of glass, and I keep all my brushes that I use on the top as well as all the tubes of paint that I use while I'm painting. I built this rolling table about 5 years ago and I didn't really do a very good job. It has some problems that are starting to bug me and I want to rebuild it. For one thing, it's too deep. I feel like I'm always reaching too far to get to the back edge. And the shelves don't have any pull-out drawers, so it's hard to keep all of this stuff organized. And the whole case doesn't sit on a structural base, so it's beginning to sag. Here's a diagram of the dimensions that I'm using. I'm going to keep the 48 inches wide that the case currently is. If I was going to be starting all over, I might make this a little bit wider. I'm also going to aim for a total height of 34 inches. And I have to figure into the fact that I'm going to be building a new structural base for this, and that is going to be 3 inches of additional height. And then the casters I'm using are 2.5 inches. So that total of 5.5 inches has to be subtracted from the sides. And then the sides, the top, and the interior shelf and the bottom will all be cut down to 24 inches, which will be the new depth of the cabinet. Then I'm also going to build a new pull-out drawer that runs along the whole top edge, and I'll be able to store all my tubes of paint in there that in the past have just been cluttering up the top of the cabinet. And then along the bottom I'm going to build 2 pull-out drawers, and those will be on nice drawer slides, and that'll really help organize all the materials that are in the cabinet currently. All right, let's get going. First thing I did was mark everything to its new 24-inch dimension, and then I went ahead and cut it all on the table saw. I made a new really strong base, and then I started to assemble everything with drywall screws. To make the new base, I cut 3-inch strips of 3/4-inch plywood that I glued up to make kind of like a laminated beam. And then I assembled a frame out of it. But you could do the same thing out of 2x4s. And then I got to put all my paint in. And it all fit. I ordered a piece of 1/4-inch plate glass from my local glass supplier, and I had them sand the edges so they're not sharp or anything. And I got one piece of glass that fit all across the top. That's great. So here's the finished table with the shelf I added to keep my brushes. It has the two storage shelves on the bottom and then the paint tube storage shelf on the top, which I use a lot. It even has some extra storage space on the back for extra paint and supplies. So all in all, it's a big improvement over the old version.